On defense, number 6, Colin Birch. And number 34, Samuel Weiner. At forward, number 12, Eddie Jackson. Number 13, Hunter Mabey. And number 14, Ryan Van Zyl. And now the starting 6 for your University of Delaware Blue Hens, coached by Joey Garrett. Starting in goal, number 31, Andrew Gaddy. On defense, number 5, Ty Vastola. And number 3, Quinn Scribner. At forward, number 17, Michael Gibbons. Number 8, Henry Long. And number 19, Charlie Allen. The officials for tonight's game, as appointed by the American Collegiate Hockey Association, are referees Colby Sakuma and the management, Tony Armetta, and linespeople Bryce Lindsay and Rob Schnorr. Fans, at this time, we direct your attention to the American flag located behind the Sacred Heart goal, as we honor the United States of America and those entrusted with the defense of this nation with the Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. So go time upon us. For this Saturday nightcap. Here on the campus of the University of Delaware. And we're going old school. Here tonight from Gold Arena. This game brought to you as a DHN radio presentation. Bryce Lindsay with the opening drop, and the Pioneers control. Colin Birch works the puck up the right wing boards to Van Zyl, but it was tipped up into the rafters and out of play around about the Delaware blue line. And 11 seconds in, the faceoff has been spotted in neutral territory just above the Blue Hens line. Michael Gibbons in for the draw for the Blue Hens. Pulling the puck back in their end, and Quinn Scribner just clears the zone. Holding the line was Weiner for Sacred Heart. From our vantage point, the Pioneers, clad in their away red kits, gray yokes, white numbers on the back and sleeves, moving left to right. Delaware in their home whites, blue helmets, pants, and numbers all round. And that blue and silver duotone Blue Hen logo on the front. Moving right to left, backstop tonight by Andrew Gaddy, who comes into this contest 6-1 with a 2.68 goals against average and a save percentage of .929. Our Sacred Heart information incomplete is the lineup that they've got for tonight's game. Is without a doubt not the men's Division III ACHA side. So a bit of a piecemeal story to come. As an icing will send the Blue Hens back in their own end. Face-off coming to Gaddy's right. Alex Burchard in for the draw for Delaware. Across from Weiner. Or rather across from TJ Bayer for the Pioneers. Stepping up to the half wall and holding the zone was Strano far side for Sacred Heart. This is worked around to the near corner. Puck battle beyond our reach. Playing the puck in high was Koenig. But it's thrown into the far corner where now Brendan Murphy finds himself tied up by a pair of Blue Hen defenders, but he's got support from Walsh. Walsh throws the puck net front. And right as Kyle Kosh tries to lob the puck out of harm's way, the net behind Gaddy is knocked off its moorings, and we've got a pause and play with 18:13 to go in the first period. Linespeople Bryce Lindsay and Rob Schnorr resetting the Delaware net on its moorings, and the faceoff's going to come back to the right of Andrew Gaddy. Burchard joined to the face-off circle by Brendan Murphy. And out come the Hens on the offensive one-on-one race to the puck deep in the Sacred Heart zone. And Brendan Koenig won the race to it over Mangano. First penalty of the game. Signaled by Colby Sakuma. Interference. The call against Matt Strano. Of Sacred Heart. So the Delaware Blue Hens will get their first Delaware Sports Medicine power play. Here just a minute and 59 into the first period. Learn more about Dr. Brad Bly's offerings for athletes of all ages and abilities at desportsmed.com. Michael DePrisco will center this power play one unit with Allen and Scribner at his wings. Back at the blue line are Anatra and Matt Crowell. The Sacred Heart penalty was assessed to number 4, Matt Strano. 2 minutes for interference. Time for the penalty, 1 minute 59 seconds of the first period. Strano, minor for interference at 1:59. Anatra comes barreling in up the right wing boards to reset in the Sacred Heart zone after the Pioneers cleared. Anatra tied up in the corner by Sacred Heart's Samuel Weiner. Working in close to Prisco with a point-blank shot. Smothered by Gabe Dice for a pause and play. 17:28 to go in the first period, 32 seconds off the Strano penalty. Face off again, coming to the left of Dice. Same quintet of skaters on for the Blue Hens, but it was Sacred Heart's number 12, Eddie Jackson, winning the draw to the left of his netminder. Holding was Crowell. Puck was loose in front after the initial Gabe Dice save, and the net dislodged behind him after he paddles the puck out of harm's way. Faceoff's going to stay in the Sacred Heart end. No, it's not. It's going to come outside the line as Delaware was ruled guilty of the net being knocked off of its moorings behind Gabe Dice. Pioneers able to change, and they win the neutral zone draw. In for it was Ryan Walsh, wearing number 26 in Pioneer red, and he sends the puck sailing the length of the ice where the Hens are forced back deep to recover. Matt Crowell races up the right wing boards and in over the Sacred Heart line. Drop pass to Anatra, didn't connect. Allen back to center, recovers, and he leaves it to Solomon. Zach Solomon tried to feed the puck back to Charles Allen, didn't connect with his man inside the Delaware line. 47 seconds to go on this first Delaware Sports Medicine power play of the evening, and Allen hassled by the other 19, that being Sacred Heart's Brendan Murphy. Managed to work the puck up the right wing boards, and now the Hens set up in Sacred Heart's end. Anatra working the left half wall, works the puck down low to Solomon. Solomon stripped of the vulcanized rubber by Colin Birch. Has some support in the form of DePrisco. Allen, or rather that's Solomon looking for space, working the perimeter of the zone. He takes a shot from the right dot. It was saved by Dice, and the rebound was cleared out of harm's way by Birch, hanging close to home on the defensive. Puck ends up in the far corner, sweeping in to recover for Delaware was Charlie Allen. The penalty to Strano has expired, and Sacred Heart, led by Ryan Walsh, works the puck as far as the Delaware blue line, plus 10 feet before the Hens counter. DePrisco stutter steps in over the Sacred Heart line with space. He flips the puck diagonally into the near corner of the Sacred Heart zone, and the Hens get some fresh legs on with 4 minutes and 20 seconds elapsed in this opening period of a 0-0 game. Delaware Men's Division III Hockey Senior Night festivities prior to the game tonight, and we're bringing it to you in Delaware Hockey Network radio form in the second half of our Saturday doubleheader after the Men's Division I Blue Hens side fell in overtime to Pitt 3-2 as the curse of Tepsacuma lives on. Henry Long attracts a crowd of Sacred Heart defenders behind the Pioneers' goal. He gave the puck away, and it was worked by Jackson from his blue line the rest of the way up ice. Harnan able to play the puck on, corrals it, and posts up behind his own net after icing was waved off. And the whistle of Pepe Armetta sounds with 14:55 to go. Is there a... looks like an issue with the net as the apron came loose. It's been reset to Armetta's liking, and the face-off will come to the left of Andrew Gaddy. This draw won by Delaware. James Mangano streaking up the left wing boards was slowed up at the Sacred Heart blue line. Burchard recovers in the neutral zone for the Hens, but he was pressured by Devin Anderson. Anderson walking in, hassled by Vastola, got a shot away from the near dot. Squaring up for the save was Gaddy, and the Hens are back on the offensive. James Mangano got to center, but he tried to chip the puck up the near boards. It ended up in the Sacred Heart bench, and play was halted with 14:32 to go in the first period. And linesperson Bryce Lindsay spots a center ice faceoff for the resumption of play. We've reached the 9 o'clock hour here in Newark, Delaware. To everyone joining us on DHN Radio, we are glad to have you for this Saturday night tilt between the Hens and Sacred Heart. Again, this game brought to you in radio format this evening, as Mangano off a 2-on-2 saw his backhand shot from the left dot directed off its intended line. And the Pioneers, Anthony Marzito, from his stripe, forces the puck deeper in neutral territory before Mangano volleyed it back up the far boards. Hens looking to get some fresh legs on just beyond the 6-minute mark of period number 1. TJ Bayer overskated the puck at center. Pouncing for the Hens was Michael Romano in his 8th appearance in a Delaware sweater. This volleyed back to the Sacred Heart blue line, turned the other way by Weiner. Intercepted on its way through neutral territory and now walked in by Viola. Viola left the puck back to Romano. Shot from the high slot was turned aside by Dice, scrambling for the rebound save as well, denying McDermott, who was looming net front. Pioneers again clear. And Harnan hustles back inside his blue line to recover. Forechecking pressure coming from Murphy. Breakout pass intercepted. Murphy gets this to the corner, and Bayer, shot from high in the zone. Off the stick of Brendan Koenig. Was directed wide. Race on for it the other way. Nick Viola on a breakaway from close range. Was pressured by Strano trailing him. He draws the penalty. And it looks as though the Hens will be headed back to the Delaware Sports Medicine power play at the 7:06 mark of the first period, while Viola's breakaway was not successful. Matt Strano ruled guilty of a hook in trying to take away Viola's scoring chance. And while he succeeded in that regard, the Hens get themselves another Delaware Sports Medicine power play. 0 for 1 with the man advantage so far, but this game is yet young and scoreless just over 7 minutes in. The Sacred Heart penalty was assessed to number 4, Matt Strano. 2 minutes for hooking. Time of the penalty, 7 minutes, 6 seconds in the first period. Strano 2 for hooking at 7:06. Hens working back end to end. Solomon centering feed to Burchard, crashing the net. Couldn't get a shot away. Protecting at the right point for the Blue Hens was number 32, Gavin Johns. Listed as 36 in the official roster, but wearing 32 here tonight, and we're going to go 4-on-4 as Henry Long takes the walk of shame for a cross check with 12:14 to go in the first period. So that Delaware Sports Medicine power play lasting all of 40 seconds for the Blue Hens. An hour 4-on-4, and Sacred Heart win the attacking zone draw to kick off this even strength stretch. The Delaware penalty was assessed to number 8, Henry Long. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time of the penalty, 7 minutes, 46 seconds in the first period. Long, 2 for cross-checking at 7:46. So a 0-0 game. Here as we enter the 9th minute, and Ryan Anatra skates the puck up the left wing boards into a 2-on-3. Anatra gains the blue line, but he's angled to the far side by Weiner, and he's separated from the puck. Trying to protect for the Hens was Scribner. Weiner fails to clear. Just holding the line is Ty Vastola. This cycled from Scribner to Prisco with a backhand shot in the mid-slot off its intended line. And DePrisco gets the puck back in the corner, fed by Scribner up the near board. Scribner, long shot from distance, smothered by Dice, who holds for a pause in play with 11:09 to go in the first period. And now Samuel Weiner's got to be held back by linesperson Rob Schnorrs. He tried to take a run at a Delaware player, and well after the whistle, Van Zyl and DePrisco taking a few swipes at each other. So as Elton John was famous for saying Saturday night's all right for fighting, well, we haven't gone to that extreme yet, but there's certainly some chippiness in the air here at Gold Arena after Dice net has been reset and the faceoff comes to his left. For those of you just joining us, tonight's game will be presented in radio format. So not only is the camera not on, but the camera is non-existent due to constraints, both infrastructural and logistical, on this Saturday night. The Strano penalty has just expired. A brief Sacred Heart power play, only 15 seconds left on the man advantage, while Long remains off. Jackson controlled a bouncing puck at the left half wall, and he got it back from Weiner. Shot in close, caught and held by Gaddy, and here we go again as Crowell just leveled Murphy in the slot, and the Lions people earning their keep tonight as quickly Messrs. Schnorr and Lindsay get involved with 4 seconds remaining on the Henry Long cross-checking minor. 10:17 to go in the first period. and no score from Gold Arena. What are we going to hear from Colby Sakuma here? We've got offsetting penalties. .9:43 into the first period. Brendan Murphy for Sacred Heart in that altercation in front of the Delaware. Rung up for a slash. And Crowell getting a cross-check. We're going to be 5-on-4 for the next 4 seconds as those penalties offset. But will be ultimately time served plus a whistle. The Sacred Heart penalty was assessed to number 19, Brendan Murphy, 2 minutes for slashing. Delaware penalty assessed to number 27, Matt Crowell, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time of the penalties, 9 minutes 43 seconds in the first period. Murphy 2 for slashing, Crowell 2 for cross-checking, both at 9:43. Just past halfway in the first period, close-up shot from Sacred Heart's Hunter Maybe. Held on to by Gaddy for a pause and play with 9:48 to go in this opening frame. No score as yet from Gold Arena. If you've been injured on the job or in a car accident, you know just how challenging and overwhelming the recovery process can be. And that's why having a trusted and caring representative by your side is essential to help you navigate the complex world of workers' compensation and personal injury. The Law Office of Heather A. Long will guide you through every step of the process from filing your claim to representing you in hearings and appeals. Schedule your free consultation by calling the Law Office of Heather A. Long at 302-466-5664 or visit injuryde.com. Samuel Weiner took aim from center point. Stick saved by Gaddy. Denied him from distance. And then, after recovering his own rebound, Weiner again back at the blue line directed the puck into the protective netting and out of play. But with the zone established and the intent ruled a shot, the face-off remains in the Delaware zone. Muscling the puck free was Romano. And he works this up to McDermott for the Blue Hens, coming in numbers 2-on-3. McDermott rolls the puck behind the net. It's brought back by the Pioneers the other direction. Touch pass just over the line from Jake Kalani. Walsh carried it from center the rest of the way in. Sent back to Strano, who's drawn to center to recover. So the Pioneers couldn't hold the zone. Long shot studied by Gaddy. And he leaves the puck behind the net to Johns. Matt McDermott advances the puck up the right wing boards. It comes back to him. Johns hassled by the forechecking Gavin Jacoby. Now Scribner with time and space carries this beyond his own blue line. The sweeping stick of Jacoby disrupting the Hens' advance, but picking up the puck, Romano walks it the rest of the way through neutral territory, and he got a long shot away after gaining the Sacred Heart line, which was turned aside easily by Deist. 2-on-3 coming the other direction, but Grondin was slowed up right at the Delaware stripe. Recovering the puck is Long for the Hens. Another 2-on-3 as Delaware stymied once again by a stout Pioneer back check. Cross slot feed. Gibbons couldn't reel in the puck. Net was again knocked off its moorings behind Gabe Deist. And again, for all of you joining us here this evening, this game is presented solely in radio format tonight, as following the stoppage in play in front of the Sacred Heart net, Charlie Allen was ruled off for a high stick. .8 minutes to go here in the first period. Long-range shot from the left side of the zone. It was off the stick of Hunter Mabey atop the circle, sticked away by Gaddy, and the Hens clear before Weiner could get a secondary chance off. Delaware penalty assessed to number 19, Charles Allen. 2 minutes for high sticking. Time of the penalty, 11:46 in the first period. Allen 2 for high sticking at 11:46. Van Zyl leads the second wave of the Sacred Heart power play. Puck caroms behind the net to Mabey, working the left half wall. Now deep in the corner is Jackson. Back up to Mabey. Kick back to Weiner, holding center point. One-timer from the left dot off the stick of Mabey was deflected wide amid net front traffic. Crowell doing well to clog up the slot for the Hens. Here's Burchard in a one-on-one the other way, and Alex Burchard with some shorthanded magic gets the Hens on the board, potting his 9th of the season with 7:04 to go in the first period. So Alex Burchard with the shorthanded goal. And Kyle Kosh is going to get credit for the helper, finding Burchard with the outlet pass, and the Blue Hens strike first. Some short-handed magic. To put Delaware up early. Delaware's shorthanded goal, 9th of the season, scored by number 33, Alex Burchard. Assisted by number 7, Kyle Kosh. Time of the goal, 12 minutes, 56 seconds in the first period. Burchard's 9th from Kosh at 12:56, a shorthanded goal. 20 seconds remain on the Charles Allen penalty, 6.5 minutes to go in the first period. And Brandon Koenig, pinched to the near boards by Viola, makes his way back into the Delaware zone, but he was forced to hurry up on the cross-ice pass. Marazito could not maintain control of the puck, and it's driven back by Mangano deep in the Sacred Heart end as the penalty to Charles Allen expires. 6:05 remaining in the first. Marazito carried the puck up the middle. He was angled to the far corner by Delaware's Luke Heimberg, who's now at the center of a two-a-side scrum. Hens recover the puck, and Mangano floats this up the right wing boards, but just as soon as he clears his zone, the whistle of Colby Sakuma sounds. 5:52 remaining in the first. And Anthony Marazito is sent off for Sacred Heart, ruled guilty of a trip, putting the Blue Hens back on the Delaware Sports Medicine power play. Here for the 4th time tonight. Delaware 0 for 3 with the man advantage so far this evening. And they'll kick off their 4th power play opportunity with a face-off to the left of Gabe Deist. The Sacred Heart penalty was assessed to number 28, Anthony Marazito. 2 minutes for tripping. Time of the penalty, 14 minutes, 8 seconds of the first period. Marazito, 2 for tripping at 14:08. Holding the line for Delaware was Quinn Scribner, launching a long shot off the back glass. Scrum for the puck net front. Weiner off his backhand, holding close to home. Directed the puck out of harm's way, but DePrisco recovered for the Hens. Crowell leaves it to Scribner, working the right half wall. DePrisco skips one across the slot, just above the goal line, across to Anatra, working the near corner. Allen behind the cage. Plays it back up the far side, Scribner. Lost the line, oh no. Crowell was ruled to have maintained the zone for Delaware, but only barely. Now Anatra, coming in from the left point. Walks into the dot. Carries the puck in low. He tried to jam it under the pads of Deist to no avail. Recovering the rebound is Brendan Murphy for Sacred Heart. He gains the center red line before letting the puck go the rest of the way. It was on net, so Gaddy had to steady And he feeds to DePrisco, cutting back across center. DePrisco in a 2-on-2 together with Gibbons. Stripped of the puck by Sacred Heart's Brandon Koenig. Or rather, Koenig just inside the far dot. Koenig clears. 17 to go. On the penalty to Marazito. This will come back an icing against Delaware. With 4:05 to go in the first period, 14 seconds remaining on the penalty to Marazito. And the Pioneers getting an attacking zone faceoff. It's a 1-0 hockey game with Delaware's Alex Burchard potting his 9th of the season at the 12:56 mark of this first period. That's the lone tally of the evening thus far. Henry Long end-to-end up the right wing boards. Took aim from the half wall. Shot was deflected in front of Dice's office, up into the back netting behind the glass and out of play. Right as the Pioneers go full strength. We're down to the final 3:52 in opening period action. Delaware with an attacking zone face-off and a 1-0 lead. Make a truly all-American meal the centerpiece of your next team event or special occasion. Sid's Barbecue and Jerky in nearby Claymont, Delaware can cater your next group event, offering pulled pork brisket and barbecue chicken on a daily basis, along with a variety of sauces and sides sure to please any appetite. Visit Sid's at Suite C26 in the Tri-State Industrial Center on Ridge Road in Claymont, open Monday through Saturday for takeaway lunch. Or to place a catering order, call 302-439-4937 or visit sidsbbqandjerky.com. Trying to work his way through the neutral zone was Gibbons, but he was stood up by Jackson just above the Sacred Heart blue line. Thomas Harnan recovering the puck briefly for Delaware in the near corner of his own end, but Van Zyl took it back away for the red-clad Pioneers. 3:05 to go in the first period. Trusch with a long shot from the point. Gaddy with the initial save, but the rebound was put away, and it looked like it was Eddie Jackson finding the back of the Delaware net with 3:02 to go in the first period. So Sacred Heart has tied it up. 16:58. The end of the first period, indeed it was. Eddie Jackson erasing the Delaware lead established by Alex Burchard. And we're back tied up, one aside. After Gaddy made the initial save on Trusch, but couldn't come up for the back-to-back stops. Eddie Jackson with the rebound putback, making this a 1-1 hockey game. Sacred Heart goal scored by number 12, Eddie Jackson, assisted by number 2, Dylan Trusch. Time of the goal, 16 minutes, 58 seconds of the first period. Jackson from Trusch at 16:58. Pioneers setting up shop behind their own goal. It is Samuel Weiner. Advancing the puck up the right wing boards. It comes back off a Delaware stick to Birch. Forechecking pressure offered by Romano. Romano with the steal, but he couldn't split defenders in the low slot with a quick release shot. Birch again recovers. And here come the Pioneers back up the right wing boards. Breakout pass beyond the reach of Kalani was taken away by McDermott, who gains the Sacred Heart line, finds himself outnumbered and bodied down on the slot. Puck is knocked loose. Stepping up to the point to recover for Delaware was Romano. And now he retreats in exchange for some fresh legs as we come to the final 1:45 in the first period. Ryan Walsh all by his lonesome. Up the left wing wall, took a long shot into the glove of Gaddy. This goes. So not a particularly strong scoring chance for the Pioneers with 1:39 to go in the first period, but a smart play nonetheless by the outnumbered Ryan Walsh to gain the side clad in red, an attacking zone faceoff. They control off the draw. Brendan Murphy working the left corner. Tried to play this back up to the point where waiting was Strano, but he didn't get control of the puck at the point. He's driven all the way back to his own goal line by Delaware's Kyle Kosh. Race to the puck developing behind the cage, and it rings around to the near corner of the Sacred Heart zone with 1:15 to go in the first period. Taking it away in close was Mangano for Delaware, but he couldn't generate a close-up shot. He was angled behind the net. Mangano's stick handles out of traffic. He leaves this to Heimberg at the point. Long shot from Heimberg. Right on target, coming up with a pair of rapid-fire saves. Dice, but the third goes in. 1 minute remaining of the period. 1 minute. And it's James Mangano with the rebound put back for Delaware with 58 seconds to go in the first period. We know it was Mangano with his second goal of the year and the second goal for the Blue Hens tonight. Delaware goal, second of the season, scored by number 26, James Mangano. Time of the goal, 19 minutes, 2 seconds in the first period. Mangano's second at 19:02. 42 seconds remaining. In opening period play, DePrisco emerges from the Delaware zone and accelerates up the left wing boards to try to pinch past Trusch on his way into Sacred Heart territory in search of an insurance goal. Harnan holds the point off a failed Sacred Heart clear. We're down to the last 22. Long shot well off its target. Holding in the corner is DePrisco. He tried to throw the puck in from an awkward angle. It bounces to the far corner. Maybe recovers for Sacred Heart. Cross ice pass on the neutral zone. Finds Van Zyl with time and space. 6 seconds to go. This dropped off to Jackson. Maybe in the far corner absorbs a check from Delaware's Luke Heimberg, and the horn sounds to signal the end of the first period. And we've got some pushing and shoving and face mask grabbing and all manner of violence in the near corner of the Delaware zone to bring the first period to its conclusion. 20 minutes in the books from Gold Arena. Delaware 2, Sacred Heart 1. You're listening to Delaware Hockey Network Radio, featuring the University of Delaware Men's Division III Blue Hens. And it's all brought to you by the law office of Heather A. Long. set for period number 2 here at Gold Arena, which has just begun. And we've got an update on the altercation at the end of the first period. Here we go. Sacred Heart penalties were assessed to number 12, Eddie Jackson, and number 16, Jake Kalani. Delaware penalties assessed to number 12, Michael DePrisco, and number 15, Luke Heimberg. 2 minutes each for roughing. Time of the penalties, 20 minutes even of the first period. Jackson and Kalani, DePrisco and Heimberg, 2 each for roughing at 20 minutes in the first period. So we're 34 seconds in to middle frame activity. A 2-1 score, Delaware leading Sacred Heart. And to set the stage here in the second period, Delaware moving left to right in their home whites from our vantage point. Sacred Heart and their away reds moving right to left. Face off to restart play just above the Sacred Heart blue line. This was airmailed across ice by Sacred Heart's Colin Birch. Played up the left wing boards by Murphy. Thrown in from distance and covered up by Gaddy for a pause in play. If you're just joining us here on Delaware Hockey Network Radio, James Witherite flying solo on the call from between the benches here at Gold Arena Bandbox facility, the secondary rink on the University of Delaware campus, opened mid-century and was the original home of Delaware Blue Hens hockey when the program was founded in the early 1970s. Low ceiling, so a lot of pucks go up into the rafters and out of play pretty easily. Not much vertical space for these players to work with, and the infrastructure certainly with its limitations as the game has gotten faster and stronger and significantly more skilled over the past couple decades. 70 seconds into the second period. Walking in Burchard looking for a second. Tried to backhand the puck in close, but hanging close to home. Weiner offering good support to netminder Gabe Deist. Blocked the puck and sent it back as far as the Delaware blue line. In that first period, shots were 23-18 in favor of Delaware, now 25-18. As a shot from the left side off the stick of Kyle Kosh is caught and held by Gabe Deist, and the face-off will come to his right side as, again, linesperson Rob Schnorr resets the net. Correction, face-off comes to the near side. 91 seconds into second period play. And again, we thank you all for joining us here on Delaware Hockey Network Radio for this Saturday night tilt. Hens cycling in the attacking zone. Shooting from the right half wall was Romano, but well off his mark. Gaining the puck and working it up ice was Walsh. He carries it in over the Delaware blue line, but he's kept to the corner by Harnan as he works deeper into the Delaware zone. He caroms the puck behind the net. Taking aim from the left half wall was Strano. Wide shot into the control of Delaware's Thomas Harnan. Now trying to clear his angle, but the point is held by Strano. Strano bobbles the puck, and McDermott outsprints him. Deep into the Sacred Heart zone, net front feed, and here we go again as Gabe Deist is run into by Nick Viola. Didn't look like there was any malicious intent there on the part of the Delaware attacker. But again, a gathering of Pioneers and Blue Hens alike at the stoppage with 2:24 behind us in second period action. Because of the Blue Hens' role in the post-whistle altercation, the ensuing face-off is spotted in the neutral zone, and the Hens win the draw. Scribner to Vastola. This comes back to Scribner, far side inside his blue line. The puck goes untouched from there all the way behind the Sacred Heart goal. And the Hens are forced all the way back into their end after being guilty of an icing. The Pioneers' Ryan Van Zyl in for this attacking draw. Flanked by Jackson and Maybe. Trying to extract the puck was Solomon right at the point, but it's protected by Strano. He plays a hard carom shot in from the left side around to the far half wall, where Jackson threw it through the slot. Van Zyl canceled out by a pair of Delaware defenders looming net front. He was unable to set up a redirect in pursuit of the equalizer for Sacred Heart. It is Delaware with a 2-1 lead. Delaware's men's Division III ACHA team taking on Sacred Heart's ACDC program. No, not Thunderstruck. The American Collegiate Development Conference. A cross-ice pass to Solomon. Rather, a cross-slot pass to Zach Solomon. Puck went into the top corner of the net, but the net was dislodged behind Deist. So with 16:41 to go in the second period, the question is, will this stand as Zach Solomon's 8th goal of the season? Hens controlled the puck in low. Solomon, the recipient of that backdoor feed across the Royal Road, went top shelf on Deist. And despite the net being dislodged, it was ruled a continuation.
16 from 12.
And it's going to go to Ryan Anatra, not Zach Solomon. It was Solomon, so 18 from 12. So now we've got a 3-1 game. Advantage Blue Hens, as Solomon indeed gets his 8th goal of the year. And it was Michael DePrisco with that cross-slot setup that led to the insurance tally for Delaware. Now here comes Anatra. He flips the puck off the toe of his backhand into the near corner of the Sacred Heart zone. He chases it down over 2 defenders. Net front setup to DePrisco. Again, the net knocked loose behind Gabe Deist. Plenty of traffic in close. And the whistle of Colby Sakuma sounds as the net is replaced. Delaware goal, 8th of the season, scored by number 18, Zach Solomon. Assisted by number 12, Michael DePrisco. Time of the goal, 3:19 of the second period. Solomon's 8th from DePrisco at 3:19. The net dislodged by Sacred Heart. So they're ruled ineligible to change players at this stoppage. But they win the D-zone faceoff as Anthony Marazito plays the puck behind his own net. It comes back into the slot where Henry Long was surrounded by a host of Pioneer defenders. Charles Allen holds the left point. He throws the puck into congestion, and it's brought clear by Fitzgerald for the Pios. Allen protecting the blue line for the Blue Hens. Slowed up the advance of Marazito up the middle. Now Heimberg launches this off the near boards as far as the Sacred Heart blue line, where recovering was Koenig, but he was drawn 20 feet into his own zone. Breakout pass finds Marazito. Here's a 2-on-2. To his left, and Koenig absorbing a hip check from the back, checking Luke Heimberg right as he tried to get a shot away from 30 feet. Now a spin move and a backhand chance from Koenig into the pads of Andrew Gaddy, and the Hens clear with Charlie Allen carrying the puck up the left wing boards, taking a hip check from Koenig right as he gains the Sacred Heart line. Puck rolls behind the cage, and it ends up at the near half wall where our view is obscured, coming to the 5-minute mark of the second period. Trying to walk in was Long, but he got tripped up by Jacoby, attempting to find a way to the slot. Scribner held center point for Delaware. His shot from distance was blocked and subsequently cleared beyond center, where Vastola recovers, steps up to the red line, and launches the puck diagonally into the far corner. Scribner's shot from the left point skips into the glove of Gabe Deist, who holds for a pause in play with 14:42 to go in the second period. And again, the lines people have to get involved as the eights, Long and Colin Birch, number 6 for Sacred Heart, had a few words to exchange after the whistle. 14:42 to go in the second period. Hens now with a 3-1 lead over Sacred Heart after Zach Solomon recorded his 8th goal of the season. James Sigafus trying to pave a way toward the cage from the left corner, but he ran into net front traffic and was unable to get a clean shot through. Hens back at center with Vastola. Sailing a cross-slot pass beyond the reach of Burchard and over the blue line. This comes back into neutral territory where the stick of Brendan Murphy for Sacred Heart directs the puck as far as the Delaware blue line. Scribner recovered there. Vastola launches this up ice, trying to set up a 2-on-1 is Burchard, who careens into the net behind Gabe Deist. And here we go again. Another gathering in the near corner of Blue Hens and Pioneers with 13:53 to go in the second period. And it's just going to be one of those nights, friends. Delaware ruled guilty of the dislodged net, so the face-off will come back above the Sacred Heart blue line. Our referees tonight, Tony the Management Pepe Armetta, former Baltimore City police officer, and Colby Sakuma, native of St. Louis, who serves as a linesperson in NCAA games and also lined in the North American Hockey League. Toe drag from Kosh off a net front feed was off its mark. Kosh lost his stick, but he regains the puck at center. He tries to walk through traffic. He's got support from Burchard, who's slowed up by Grondin, just above the Sacred Heart line. Johns back deep in his own zone, chips the puck off the far boards. It was beyond the reach of Burchard at the Sacred Heart blue line. Recovering the puck in deep was Kosh. He couldn't set anything up net front. But here we go again with further post-whistle activity, as Burchard has to be pulled away from Sacred Heart's Jake Kalani here with 13:11 to go in the second period. Delaware with a 3-1 lead. And at some point, we've just got to get our minds back to playing hockey. It feels like every whistle for the past 4 minutes, there's been some sort of, we'll call it extracurricular activity. So again, a neutral zone faceoff. Spotted by linesperson Bryce Lindsay, and this is won by the Pioneers. Puck chipped by Weiner. Off the near boards, in deep behind the Delaware goal, no icing for the Sacred Heart side. But the Hens recover. Engel tied up in the far corner by Grondin, couldn't clear. Nearly with a takeaway was Kalani. McDermott pushes the puck back to neutral ice. Weiner hustles back to recover. Cross ice feed to Birch. Thrown over the blue line. Recovered by Delaware's Tyler Engel. Puck is poked by Jackson into the near corner of the Sacred Heart zone, but he's chased there by McDermott, reaching to recover for the Blue Hens at least momentarily. Romano working the far half wall. Gave way to Birch. Birch gives a shove to Viola. That battle for possession and position migrates to the near corner, and now Birch finds some room. Advancing pass found maybe. Thrown across ice. Eddie Jackson, far wall, has a lot more space to work with, and he lobs the puck over the Delaware blue line. And it's pulled back deep in Hen territory by Charles Allen, but he's unable to clear. Pioneers protecting Koenig on fresh with his backhand, holds the left point. This is taken away and cleared by Viola. Volleyed back from center by Trush. Deep behind the Delaware goal, where Andrew Gaddy steadies. And we're beyond 8 minutes completion of the second period, with Delaware leading Sacred Heart 3-1 here in our Saturday nightcap on Delaware Hockey Network Radio. Long to Engel, to Allen beyond center. Hens coming in numbers. It's a 3-on-2 attack. Allen, hard shot from the top of the right circle. Was batted away by Gabe Deist and pushed back across the neutral zone by Van Zyl. Recovering at the Delaware blue line is Scribner. Here he comes heading a 2-on-2 re-entry. Scribner corralling an airborne puck, trying to drop it off to Gibbons. But Van Zyl recovers for the Pioneers, and he airmails it up the right wing boards. Tipped by a falling Murphy to maybe accelerating in. He crashes the net and tries to get a shot away, but Gaddy's got the last word again. Here Gaddy with another save, denying Strano from the top of the left circle off the rebound. And the Hens, namely Ty Vastola, clear back to center. Koenig back up the right wing boards. Rolls the puck in deep. It skips over the stick of Gaddy, who went behind the cage to play the puck. And the breakout attempt from Ty Vastola from deep in the Delaware zone ends up in the protective netting and out of play. With 10:34 to go in the second period, Delaware with a 3-1 lead over Sacred Heart. And a D-zone draw coming up for the Blue Hens. Modern media is everyone shouting for attention and no one hearing a thing. So how do you get your voice above the fray? 412 Communications has myriad solutions to build bridges between your brand and your clientele, ranging from broadcast to social, print to digital, and more. Want to know more? Get the 411 and the 412 at 412communications.com. .10:31 remaining in the second period. Delaware leading 3-1 over Sacred Heart. The face-off is spotted to the right of Andrew Gaddy, deep in the Delaware end. Hens work clear thanks to the efforts of Zach Solomon. Up the near boards, here's Solomon carrying the puck over the Sacred Heart blue line, dropped off to his left. Shot from DePrisco, thrown net front, making a beeline to the cage was Solomon in search of his second goal tonight, but he couldn't direct the puck past Deist. And a Delaware penalty is coming up with 10:07 to go. Matt Crowell sent off for boarding. As we hear from the management with 9:53 elapsed in the second period. The rebound in that play ended up in the near corner, and Matt Crowell playing the body a little too aggressively puts his Blue Hens back on the penalty kill. And Alex Burchard is unable to clear off the D-zone draw. Delaware penalty assessed to number 27, Matt Crowell. 2 minutes for boarding. Time of the penalty, 9 minutes, 53 seconds in the second period. Crowell, 2 for boarding at 9:53. Shorthanded chance from Kyle Kosh just above the right dot. It was denied by Deist, but it was oh so close as the Hens look to add to their 3-1 lead. Pioneers set up in the Delaware zone after the save from Deist. Weiner off a feed from Hunter Maybe takes aim from center point. Gaddy squeezes for the pause. And here we go again. So we're going to get some fresh ink on the score sheet again. Ryan Walsh had to be pulled off Delaware's Gavin Johns, and we'll see what shakes out here with 9:23 to go in the second period. Looks like Walsh is going to be done. Yep, Walsh is getting the gate. And we'll get the rest of the story from Messrs. Armetta and Sakuma here momentarily. At the 10:37 mark of the second period, and Johns is going to go as well. So Walsh and Johns for Sacred Heart and Delaware respectively in that post-whistle tie-up. Looked as though they both threw punches, but we'll again confirm what we know once we hear directly from Pepe and Colby. One of the advantages to being right between the benches is we get to hear everything firsthand, and we'll pass it along to you in the same manner. So Ryan Walsh for Sacred Heart gets a 5 in game for hitting from behind. Delaware's Gavin Johns gets a 5 in game for head contact. So everything offsets at 10:37 in the second period. And the Hens still have 1 minute and 16 seconds left on the penalty kill after the Matt Crowell boarding minor at 9:53. Sacred Heart penalty assessed to number 26, Ryan Walsh. 5 minutes for hitting from behind plus a game misconduct. Delaware penalty assessed to number 32, Gavin Johns. 5 minutes for head contact plus a game misconduct. Time of the penalties, 10 minutes, 37 seconds of the second period. Walsh, 5 minutes for hitting from behind plus a game misconduct. Johns, 5 minutes for head contact plus a game misconduct. All at 10:37 of the second period. Play remains 5-on-4. Sacred Heart still on the power play. And the Pioneers control the attacking zone draw to restart action. Just holding the point was Birch. Off a feed from Maybe. Maybe took the puck back. And a net front scrum around Gaddy. In search of the rebound off the long shot. Goes to the Delaware netminder. We stay 3-1 with 9:08 to go in the second period. And linespeople Bryce Lindsay and Rob Schnorr crashing that net as soon as the whistle sounded, to make sure no further bad behavior from either side would take place. Face off to Gaddy's right went the way of Nick Viola over Murphy, and Viola clears. Van Zyl pulls back behind the Sacred Heart net to start up this Pioneers attack, down 2. Just beyond the midway point of the second period, pass found Jackson at center, but was stripped of him by Viola. James Mangano works the puck into the far corner of the Sacred Heart zone, where Viola was double-teamed, and he turns the puck over. Birch finds Murphy at his own blue line. Murphy gives way to Viola. Mini breakaway shot off the pads of Deist, and Viola couldn't get his own rebound. It's controlled in the near corner by Jackson with 8:24 to go in the second period. 15 to go on the Sacred Heart power play, and now Birch carries the puck from blue line to blue line, dropped off at the top of the right circle, and Murphy crashing the net. Jackson couldn't push the puck past Gaddy, and the net again is dislodged behind Andrew Gaddy with 8:12 to go in the second period, and Delaware holding on to their 3-1 lead over Sacred Heart. The face-off will come back outside the Delaware line after the Pioneers dislodged the Delaware net. The TJ Bayer line coming on. Bayer, Grondin, and Kalani. In for the Pioneers. And back to their line, Strano recovers as the Crowell penalty expires. And Delaware is back to full strength as we enter the final 8 minutes of the second period. Hens with a 3-1 advantage over Sacred Heart's American Collegiate Development Conference team. And a frozen puck under the glove of Gabe Deist brings play to a halt with 7:50 to go. Blue Hens will be back in action here on the Delaware Hockey Network next Saturday as they face off against the Ospreys of Stockton University in New Jersey. That game will be brought to you on Delaware Hockey Network TV. And we're looking at a 12:15 start time for what will be the first half of a DHN doubleheader. A week from today. .7:33 to go in the second period. Sacred Heart wins the draw on their own end. Cross-ice pass from Koenig was tipped by Grondin beyond center. In behind the Delaware goal, chased down by Engel. Harnan in the far corner fails to break the puck free. It scoots past Gibbons back into the neutral zone where Strano had a lane to drive it back in deep behind the Delaware cage. It caroms to the far side. Marazito left a shot for Grondin from the top of the right circle, which sailed wide of the near post. And back to center is Koenig to recover for the Pioneers. Delayed offside signaled momentarily by Robbie Schnorr. And Delaware's Charles Allen at center gains the puck and wrists it hard into the far corner of the Sacred Heart end with 6:45 to go in the second period of this 3-1 hockey game. Blue Hens the advantage on home ice on senior night 2026. Heimberg with the throw-in. Partial change for the Hens. Strano back the other way. Couldn't split defenders in the high slot. He dumps the puck into the near corner, and the reinforcements come in for the Pioneers, trying to close this 2-goal deficit. Heimberg battling for Delaware. Unable to work the puck clear. Solomon couldn't carry it cleanly past Weiner, attempting to hold the zone for the Sacred Heart side. Walking back in and taking aim was Anthony Marazito. Along the right wing boards just inside the Delaware blue line, but his long-range shot ends up in the Gaddy glove. And the Delaware netminder holding again, recording his 9th save on as many shots faced here in second period play. 6:06 to go in this middle frame. And Delaware wins the face-off in their own zone to the left of netminder Andrew Gaddy. Walking the puck up ice was DePrisco. And the Hens again set up shop in the Sacred Heart zone. But DePrisco was checked off the puck in the far corner. This is sent clear. And it will come back an icing against Sacred Heart with 5:47 remaining of the second period. Attacking zone draw awaiting Delaware, and they'll take it in the near circle to the left of Gabe Deist, who has saved 14 of 15 shots faced here in second period play. Draw to his left was won by Van Zyl, and Hunter Mabey pushes the puck through the neutral zone. Mabey blew a tire after gaining the Delaware line. He's back on his feet and he recovers the puck. He tries to center it to Jackson, but Jackson found himself in the company of a pair of Delaware backcheckers. Here comes a Natra the other way, left wing boards. Drop pass to DePrisco, coming from Solomon, a little bit too quick for him to handle. The shot was high and just wide. Back to the Delaware blue line. Here comes Thomas Harnan, unable to recover for the Blue Hens. Mabey drives his way deep into the Hens territory, but was angled behind the cage. Anatra lost his footing. He takes a check off the puck. It is recovered by Sacred Heart's Ryan Van Zyl. Worked up to the point, Colin Birch. Bodied off the path of the puck, one-on-one coming. Solomon drops it back. Trailing the play was DePrisco. Here's a Natra in the low slot off a Solomon setup, but he too couldn't connect with a one-timer in close range. 4:45 to go in the second period. Hens getting their chances on Gabe Deist. They've got a 3-1 lead to show for it. Now a 2-on-2 coming for Sacred Heart as Eddie Jackson up the right wing boards fails to center to Kalani after gaining the Delaware zone. A drive coming from Sigafus at the left point, but it's deflected away in heavy net front traffic. Again, clogging up the low slot was Harnan for the Blue Hens. Here they come in numbers the other way. Hard shot from Kosh from the top of the slot into the back glass. Holding close was Sigafus, scrambling to clear the puck out of harm's way as Deist lunged out of position and had to hurry to get back on his feet. Pioneers dump in. Mangano playing the body in the near corner on Sigafus. This is sent clear from deep in the Sacred Heart end, hustled down by Heimberg. Burchard left it across to Viola. Mangano gave it away at the blue line to Sigafus, walking back across neutral territory and getting a long shot in after gaining the red line before heading off for a change. Gaddy with the easy save, I should say. And we'll head back into the Delaware zone with 3:31 to go in the second period after the Blue Hens were guilty of an icing. Whether you're a competitive athlete like these guys or a weekend warrior like me, a sports medicine physician is an important player on your health team. And with years of experience treating high school, collegiate, professional, and everyday athletes alike, Dr. Brad Bly of Delaware Sports Medicine is the specialist you need to achieve personal best and lead a healthier lifestyle. And with clinics in both Wilmington and Townsend, Delaware Sports Medicine is here for every athlete in your family. Learn more at desportsmed.com. 3:24 remaining in the second period of a 3-1 hockey game. Delaware with the advantage over Sacred Heart. And a puck out of play leads to a neutral zone faceoff. Delaware escaping their end of the rink. But Alex Burchard was outworked over the faceoff dot by Fitzgerald. Koenig tried to line up a shot from the right point, but it was intercepted by Burchard. Hens coming in numbers. Kosh! Off the centering pass through the puck into the pads of Deist from 15 feet away. Quick Sacred Heart counterattack is led by Fitzgerald, angling to the near wall as he gains the Delaware line. Recovering the puck was Mangano, and it was shoveled back to center by Burchard for the Hens. Scribner to Vastola. Kosh will carry this up the right dots. Now he crosses to the far side after Fitzgerald angled him away at center. Hens back on the attack with 2:35 to go in the second period, looking to add to their 3-1 advantage. They'll get an attacking zone face-off here as Andrew Fitzgerald sent the puck from inside the Sacred Heart blue line, untouched the rest of the way up the ice. This will come back an icing with 2.5 exactly to go in second period play. Delaware on the offensive, with the face-off coming to Deist's left. Solomon threw the puck in. It bounced off the backboards to the far half wall, where Romano directs it in behind the cage again. Harnan just held the point. Left side, getting the puck in low to Solomon. Solomon with support from Romano. Back high it goes to Thomas Harnan. Solomon to Viola, who fans on the puck in the far corner. Now Viola retracing his steps, trapped by Marazito. He couldn't feed it back cleanly to Harnan, and drawn back to center is Engel with 1:48 to go in the second period. Solomon walking back in, drop pass, long shot from Romano was sticked away by Deist. A scrum for the rebound goes the way of Sacred Heart as Gabe Deist holds his ground, freezes the puck, and Matt Strano the collateral damage in that mutual crashing of the net. Gets back up on his feet, none the worse for wear. Deist scrambles back as well. Man, has he seen a lot of vulcanized rubber tonight. To the tune already of 40 shots on goal. Off the ensuing draw, Delaware just made it a 4-1 hockey game. A wrister right off the near dot. Extends the Blue Hens' lead to 3. Matt Crowell getting his 4th of the year. With that wrist shot from the top of the right circle. Beating Dice at 18-22, and now we've got ourselves a 4-1 hockey game. Delaware with goals from Burchard, Mangano, Solomon, and now Crowell. Delaware goal, 4th of the season, scored by number 27, Matt Crowell. Time of the goal, 18 minutes, 22 seconds in the second period. Crowell's 4th at 18-22. 1 minute remaining in the period. 1 minute. To summarize what we just saw in the last 10 seconds, Dice scrambling to the bench after Delaware's Luke Heimberg was ruled guilty of holding. So the Hens head back to the PK as we enter the final minute of the second period. But that Matt Crowell goal, the quick release wrist shot off the faceoff, made this 4-1 in their favor on senior night. The Delaware penalty was assessed to number 15, Luke Heimberg. 2 minutes for holding. Time of the penalty, 19 minutes even in the second period. Heimberg, 2 for holding at 19 minutes. Ryan Van Zyl steadies the puck in the Sacred Heart zone. Now it's controlled by alternate captain Sam Weiner, and left for the accelerating Murphy from blue line to blue line, and he comes to the Delaware end, but he's angled to the near corner by Vastola on this penalty kill together with Burchard, Kosh, and Scribner. Final 10 seconds of the period. Van Zyl working the far half wall, leaves the puck high. Birch with a drive from distance into Gaddy's pads. Directing the puck to the far side. Birch again lets one go as the period comes to its end. Gaddy holds on, and the horn sounds to signal the end of the second period. The score through 40 minutes, Delaware Blue Hens 4, Sacred Heart Pioneers 1. Back after the second intermission here on Delaware Hockey Network Radio, and it's all brought to you by the Law Office of Heather A. Long. Third period about to get underway. Here at Gold Arena, thanks for joining us here on Delaware Hockey Network Radio. As Robbie Schnorr gets ready to drop the puck on third period play. Delaware kicking off this third period on the penalty kill for the first minute, as the Luke Heimberg holding minor enters its second half. Sacred Heart moving left to right in their away reds here in third period play. Delaware moving right to left in their home whites. And a net front putback from Brendan Murphy. Off a Gaddy's save, 21 seconds into the third period. Gets Sacred Heart back within a pair of goals. It was Brendan Murphy crashing the net after Sam Weiner put a shot in from the left half wall into Gaddy's pads. And the power play goal for the Pioneers cuts the Delaware lead down to 4-2. Sacred Heart goal scored by number 19, Brendan Murphy. Assisted by number 34, Sam Weiner. Time of the power play goal, 21 seconds in the third period. Murphy from Weiner at 21 seconds. A power play goal. Hens trying to counter as Henry Long skated into a 1-on-2. Couldn't get a shot away from just inside the blue line. 2-on-1 coming back the other direction. And Ryan Van Zyl trying to put on the brakes in close. Careens into Gaddy, knocks the Delaware net off its moorings, and in a surprising turn of events, everybody separates without further incident. 45 seconds into the third period of what's been a stop-and-go game. The net is reset behind Gaddy, and the face-off comes out to his left. Driving in was Van Zyl from in close. Puck caromed back out into neutral ice. And out of play, leading to a Delaware face-off. I should say a Delaware zone face-off to the right of Gaddy with only 52 seconds behind us. Here in third period action, of the Pioneers maintain attacking position. Maybe was checked off the puck. Allen lofted it up over the glass and out. Now we're 59 seconds into the third period. And another D-zone draw for the Hens goes the way of the Pioneers, at least to begin with. Hens pounce, and Charles Allen worked the puck deep into the Sacred Heart end. Sweeping in to pick it up at the Pioneers' blue line was Van Zyl, getting tied up with Gibbons. Their collective momentum in that of the puck ended up just over the Delaware line. Barreling back the other direction was Heimberg. Heimberg slowed up at the top of the near circle and angled into the near corner. This is taken away by Maybe and walked back up the right wing boards deep into the Delaware end, where Maybe found himself outnumbered by a trio of Delaware defenders. Heimberg could not clear the zone. Trying his Vastola, he gets this back as far as center, where Weiner pulls back to his own line. Weiner gets the puck back, D-to-D feed from Birch. The advancing pass up the middle to Kalani was intercepted. The other 16, Ryan Anatra, walked in for Delaware. He tried to snap a quick release shot from the right dot, but was well off his intended line. Puck ends up in the far corner of the Sacred Heart end, where TJ Bayer failed to clear. Here comes Solomon, cross-ice feed for Anatra. He shoots and scores. Ryan Anatra finding the back of the net for the fifth time this season. Off the Zach Solomon setup across the Royal Road. And 2:20 into the third period, the Blue Hens are back up 5-2. So the Hens power line of Anatra, Solomon, and DePrisco. Striking again. And extending their margin back to 3 goals. Anatra looking to generate another. Couldn't feed to DePrisco, cutting toward the cage. DePrisco with 2 assists. Solomon with a goal and an assist. And Anatra on the board for the 5th time this year, giving the Hens 1 for the thumb. Delaware goal, 5th of the season, scored by number 16, Ryan Anatra. Assisted by number 18, Zach Solomon, and number 12, Michael DePrisco. Time of the goal, 2 minutes, 20 seconds in the 3rd period. Anatra's 5th from Solomon and DePrisco at 2:20. Entering the 4th minute of the 3rd period, Hens 5, Pioneers 2 from Gold Arena. DePrisco surrounded by Pioneers from inside his blue line. Fed the puck to Kosh. He steps in over the Sacred Heart blue line and finds himself outnumbered. Heimberg pressed behind the play by Strano. Leaves us to the right point. Crowell tries to launch the puck in, but Brendan Murphy, swarming him, got a piece of it right on the release. 4 minutes gone here in 3rd period action. Kyle Kosh looking for a way out from behind the net. Angle to the corner, left it to Heimberg. At the left point, launched in from distance off the backboards. James Mangano to Crowell. This is worked behind the cage. Burchard tried to tip it back to Mangano, center point, but the pass didn't make it. Mangano playing the body on Matt Strano, trying to work clear for Sacred Heart and erase their 3-goal deficit to Delaware. Mangano keeps the forechecking pressure alive and recovers the puck. He tried to cut through the slot, but a stick lift from Strano disrupted his advance, and Wyatt Grondin comes barreling back into the Delaware zone, but he was out-hustled and stripped of the puck by the Blue Hens' Thomas Harnan. Harnan pressed play back into the neutral zone, maybe came barreling back in up the left wing boards. Airborne puck in the far corner, contested by Anderson and Harnan. Maintained by Sacred Heart. Walking in for a close shot was Hunter, maybe walking the line left side, but Gaddy hugged the far post and made the save. Gaddy with 29 saves on 30 shots through the first 2 periods of play. Sacred Heart's Gabe Deist stopped 37 of 41 through the first 40 minutes. Big open ice hit laid on Mangano. Here come the Pioneers on the offensive. Up the right wing boards is Eddie Jackson. He was circled behind the net, or angled behind the net, I should say. Up the left side, he dropped the puck off to Grondin, holding the corner. Trying to cut through the high slot was Jackson, and a whistle sounds with 14:26 to go in regulation. Tony Armetta calling Quinn Scribner, and we'll find out what for here momentarily. The management signals a slash on Scribner. 5 minutes and 34 seconds. Into 2nd to 3rd period action. The Delaware Blue Hens are back on the PK. The Delaware penalty was assessed to number 3, Quinn Scribner, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalty, 5 minutes, 34 seconds in the 3rd period. Scribner, 2 for slashing at 5:34. So we're 6 minutes into the 3rd period. And crashing the net with a backhand shot was Ryan Van Zyl, splitting defenders. Andrew Gaddy smothers the puck, and he holds on for the pause with 13:55 to go in regulation. A minute and a half to go on the Scribner slashing minor, and the Delaware Blue Hens with a 5-2 lead over Sacred Heart. Face-off to Gaddy's right, Nick Viola. In for the face-off for the shorthanded Blue Hens, across from Murphy. McDermott, Crowell, and Engel complete the quartet of penalty killers for the Blue Hens. Pressing play back deep into the Sacred Heart zone. Van Zyl cross ice feed to Maybe, gaining speed up the right wing boards and into the Delaware zone he comes, where he's double teamed along the near wall. Taking the puck away, Engel launches it back as far as the Sacred Heart blue line. Birch recovers, diagonal outlet feed. Finds Brendan Murphy up the left wing boards. Murphy puts on the brakes in the corner. Working the perimeter of the zone, Maybe. Left this to the top of the zone, and Birch launching a long shot in. But Gaddy up with the glove save, holds on with 13:19 to go. (5-2) the tally. Hens leading Sacred Heart. Shorthanded for another 53 seconds as the faceoff comes to the left of Andrew Gaddy. Jackson won the draw for the Pioneers. And he crosses to the left point to control the puck. He leaves this high again. Birch in close to Van Zyl. Stutter step net front. He couldn't get a shot away from the bottom of the near circle. But his side maintained their momentum. Colin Birch working the low side of the near circle. Couldn't find an angle for a clear shot. Puck taken away by the Hens, and they clear. 12:40 to go. 10 seconds remaining on the Scribner penalty. Trying to cut up the middle was Van Zyl, but he lost the puck just over the blue line. He went over the blue line. The puck stayed in the neutral zone. He couldn't play it on from there, lest he be ruled guilty of an offside after losing control. And the Hens clear to bring the Scribner penalty to its conclusion. Walking back in was TJ Bayer. Long shot from just inside the blue line, skied into the back glass behind Gaddy. Bayer tries to drop it off to Trusch after maintaining and pulling back to the point. Errant shot ends up at the far half wall where Sigafus took aim from distance. This deflected a mid-net front commotion to the near corner. Hens clear. Trusch slams the puck back in deep. And the Pioneers will change with 11:37 to go. Delayed offside against Delaware as their counterattack was mistimed. Again, it's a 5-2 hockey game right now in favor of the Blue Hens over Sacred Heart, Delaware's ACHA Men's Division III team. And for Sacred Heart, it is their ACDC squad, American Collegiate Development Conference, a new division in ACHA competition. This team with hopes of elevating to Men's Division III status in coming years. And we'll say this has not been a cakewalk for Delaware. Big hit late on Long in behind the Sacred Heart goal as he chases the puck down to the corner. And we'll see what we get from Tony Armetta here with 10:59. To go in regulation. Brandon Koenig going to come off for a cross check. And that will put Delaware back on the Delaware Sports Medicine power play across the midpoint of this third period. DESportsmed.com, the place to go. The Sacred Heart penalty was assessed to number 8, Brandon Koenig. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time of the penalty, 9 minutes, 1 second of the third period. Koenig 2 for cross-checking at 9:01. Pioneers defensive core, namely Colin Birch, launching the puck back behind the Delaware net on 2 occasions already, 40 seconds into the Koenig penalty. Ryan Anatra carries this beyond center. Now he steps over the Sacred Heart blue line. Drop pass to Solomon. Rather, that's Charles Allen working the far corner. Now Solomon on. Feeds the puck into the slot. It ends up on the stick of Allen again. Holding the point is Crowell with a long shot. After a failed clear from Jackson. Thrown into the pads of Gabe Deist. And the Pioneers clear with 9:46 to go in the contest. And Delaware leading 5-2. Michael DePrisco tried to circle behind the net. Strano lifted his stick, disrupted his advance in pursuit of a 6th Delaware goal. Hens power play held silent so far tonight. Henry Long off the setup from Solomon. Couldn't find the back of the net. Long regains the puck. He walks in off the pads. That shot goes. Deist making the save and then scrambling to the far post. There was no second chance opportunity for the Delaware side as they were outmanned in low. And again, the Pioneers clear as the penalty to Brandon Koenig reaches its conclusion. 8:50 to go. Here in third period play, walking back in was Burchard, but he was slowed up just over the blue line by a pair of Sacred Heart defenders. Devin Anderson leads the counterattack back into the Delaware zone for the Pioneers. He rings the puck behind the cage. This is swatted back out by Engel. Birch recovers at center. And a long shot off the stick of Brendan Murphy. From the left half boards, ends up in the Gaddy glove, and he holds for the pause with 8:24 to go. Delaware leading 5-2 over Sacred Heart. Here on Saturday night at Gold Arena. Draw came to Gaddy's right. Winning it for the Hens was Nick Viola. Viola dodges a check but can't get to the puck. Sweeping in Eddie Jackson. Protecting for Sacred Heart, and he works below the cage. He circles the perimeter of the zone before cycling to Maybe. This is left to the right point. Thrown in by Birch. Down in front trying to connect was Jacoby. But he couldn't split the wickets right on the doorstep. Hunter Maybe tried to hold the line. Stick handled back into the neutral zone of the re-entry. Will force Sacred Heart offside with 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go in regulation. With a listen-first approach that creates a unique solution for your circumstances, the expert team at the law office of Heather A. Long are committed to providing empathetic and compassionate legal representation for individuals who have suffered injuries. To schedule a free consultation, visit the law office of Heather A. Long at injuryde.com or call 302-466-5664. Romano up the left wing boards, gained the Sacred Heart line. Shot was off its mark, wide of the far post, but Deist directed the puck into the far corner. Viola protecting for the Hens, trying to hold the point, was Heimberg, confronted and pushed back into the neutral zone, delayed offside against the Hens. And they'll take the opportunity to get some fresh legs on as we come to the final 7 minutes of the game. This long shot from Ryan Van Zyl was sticked by Gaddy into the near corner of the Delaware end. And Alex Burchard will carry the puck out of his zone. Burchard 2-on-2 on the entry. Tries to flip the puck past Weiner into the far corner of the Sacred Heart end. Circling to get it is Mangano, but he failed to find Kyle Kosh waiting at the top of the slot. Weiner recovers for the red-clad Pioneers. He tried to pinch the puck up the far boards and out, but keeping the zone airtight for Delaware at the right point was Vastola. Sigafus going to take aim now. He's pickpocketed in the mid-slot, and a drive from Kyle Kosh. Held on to by Gabe Deist for a break and play with 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Delaware maintaining a 5-2 lead over Sacred Heart. And this face-off will come to the right of Gabe Deist. That was the 50th Delaware shot on goal of the game. So Dice doing all right with a .900 save percentage, but the Blue Hens have just been able to generate that much more in terms of offensive chances than the Pioneers have. And there's no sign of let up from Delaware here in the final 6. Kyle Kosh up the right wing boards, in over the line, angled to the far corner by Sigafus. He's separated from the puck, trying to push it clear was Grondin. Holding the point for the Hens, Tyler Engel walking in. He lobs a shot in close, diced with the denial. Sigafus tracks down a loose puck and he swats it up the left wing wall. It rolls behind the Delaware cage where Gaddy shovels it around to the near corner. And with 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go, the Hens work back out of their zone. Gibbons gains center. He lofts the puck as high as he can. It's only about 3.5 to 4 meters from ice to roof. At the center here, he used as much vertical space as he had to send the puck back deep into the Sacred Heart end. And the Pioneers back on the offensive, unable to connect as Van Zyl blew a tire, crashing the net. And it looks like Gaddy's going to get a slash well behind the play as that Blue Hens counterattack will be all for naught. And while goalie Andrew Gaddy was issued a slashing minor by Colby Sakuma, linesperson Robbie Schnorr either caught his foot on the puck or something. Took a tumble unabated at center ice. And he'll be hearing about that in the dressing room after the game, I'm sure. The Delaware penalty was assessed to number 31, Andrew Gaddy, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalty, 15 minutes, 16 seconds in the third period. Gaddy 2 for slashing at 13:16. 10 seconds into the PK, another penalty going the way of the Blue Hens. Kyle Kosh ruled off for a trip. So a great opportunity awaiting Sacred Heart. They've got a minute and 50 seconds of 5-on-3, and they're going to take their timeout. Timeout, Sacred Heart. So 4:34 to go. Pioneers taking their timeout with a 3-goal deficit to try to erase, but a minute and 50 of 5-on-3 play awaiting them. Thanks to penalties from both goalie Andrew Gaddy for slashing Ryan Van Zyl. And then the trip assessed to Kyle Kosh. Team leader in penalty minutes for Delaware now with 83 on the season. Wouldn't be too surprised if there were an engraved nameplate on the penalty box bench with Kyle's name on it. And now we restart with the Hens iron triangle of Vastola, Burchard, and Scribner Airmailing the puck way out of their zone. Back in comes Van Zyl trying to split defenders. A stick check sends the puck skittering into the far corner, but he chased it down all right. Maybe to Birch. Back to Maybe, top of the left circle. A drive one time into the glove of Andrew Gaddy, and play is halted with 4:04 remaining. Face off again to the right of Andrew Gaddy. A minute 20 left on Sacred Heart's two-man advantage. Maybe trying to set up Birch at the left point off the face-off win, but the puck sails all the way up ice. Birch back to recover, finding Van Zyl, who gains the zone. Dropped off to Jackson. Flipped across to the right side of the slot, but a backhand from Brendan Murphy was intercepted. A drive from Birch. Top of the right circle, sticked away by Gaddy. Birch again holding center point. Gets the puck in low. Jackson flips it to the far corner, intended for Maybe. Getting a stick on it, though, was Ty Vastola for Delaware, and he clears. And a fresh set of penalty killers come on with 35 seconds to go in the 5-on-3. 3:15 to go in the game. Delaware leading 5-2 over Sacred Heart here in deep stretch on Saturday night in Gold Arena. Sam Weiner working the point, couldn't negotiate a congested slot. Van Zyl, cross ice feed, top of the left circle, Maybe throws the puck through the slot. Nobody home to redirect it. But the shot from Van Zyl from the near corner threads its way past Andrew Gaddy. And the Pioneers strike on the 5-on-3 with 2:54 to go in the contest. We now stand 5-3. So Brendan Murphy's going to get credited with the goal. The net front tip belonging to him off the initial shot from Ryan Van Zyl. This coming at 17:06. And that's the second goal of the game for Brendan Murphy. With the redirect past Gaddy, bringing Sacred Heart back to within 2. Sacred Heart goal, second of the game, scored by number 19, Brendan Murphy, assisted by number 14, Ryan Van Zyl. Time of the power play goal, 17:06 in the third period. Murphy's second of the game from Van Zyl at 17:06, a power play goal. Now 5-on-5 for the last 2:12. Hens with a 5-3 lead over the Sacred Heart Pioneers. Thomas Harnan at center. Drops the puck back to Engel, pulling back into his own blue line. He advances it up the right wing boards to Mangano, one of the 5 Delaware goal scorers this night. Final minute 45. Puck is tied up in the near corner of the Sacred Heart zone. Brought back into the neutral territory by Mangano. Cross ice pass to Engel for the re-entry. Long shot. Skips wide of the far post. And the Pioneers clear. Mangano back beyond center to DePrisco. Solomon cutting toward the net. Couldn't direct the puck past Gabe Deist, who scrambles back to his feet with 78 seconds remaining. This is taken away by Van Zyl at his own line. Advance to Maybe. Maybe crashing the net. Couldn't beat Gaddy. The follow-up chance from Eddie Jackson in the low slot. Right into the Andrew Gaddy glove, and he holds on for the pause and play with 66 seconds to go. Sacred Heart net is empty. The extra attacker is on. Murphy, Van Zyl, Jackson, Birch, Maybe, and Strano. The 6 on for the Pioneers. 1 minute remaining in the period. 1 minute. Shot from the left corner nearly took a hop into the Delaware cage behind Gaddy. but it skipped wide and the net was dislodged. So we've got a stoppage here with 59.3 seconds to go. Last-ditch effort from Sacred Heart to try to upend this Delaware goal line stand, and they win the near circle face-off to restart play. Ryan Van Zyl tied up. Clearing the puck is DePrisco. Birch back to recover. This left across to Weiner. Played up the left wing boards. Beyond the reach of Murphy. Quinn Scribner failed to clear. Recovering at center was Birch. Back in come the Pioneers, 27 seconds to go. Van Zyl controlling the puck behind the Delaware net. Absorbs a check from Scribner, separating him from the puck, and Kyle Kosh launches this up ice into the empty net with 16.2 seconds to go. Kyle Kosh puts a bow on a Delaware senior night win. He makes this 6-3 with the empty netter officially at 1943. So Kosh with the goal. Which will bring this with all likelihood to its conclusion, and Van Zyl and DePrisco both get misconducts. At 1943. Tony Armetta having nothing more. And that, for all intents and purposes, will do it tonight. Delaware empty net goal. 6th of the season, scored by number 7, Kyle Kosh, at 1943 in the third period. Kosh unassisted, empty net goal at 1943. Tonight's final score, Delaware Blue Hens 6, Sacred Heart Pioneers 3. So Kosh with the final goal to give the Blue Hens a senior night win, and a look at the Sid's Barbecue and Jerky 3 stars of the game. Zach Solomon, the first star with a goal and an assist. Kyle Kosh, the second star with a goal and an assist. And the third star going to Sacred Heart's Brendan Murphy for his 2 power play goals. We'll be back with the Delaware Men's Division 3 Blue Hens side a week from today as they take on the Ospreys of Stockton University. And we'll have that game for you on Delaware Hockey Network TV as the first half of a Valentine's Day doubleheader, which will also include the Delaware Men's Division 1 Blue Hens taking on Oswego State. For the whole crew, James Witherite signing off. Thanks for your company tonight. We'll see you again soon. Again, the final score, Delaware Blue Hens 6, Sacred Heart Pioneers 3. Good night.